in cases in the lead. PDP crisis. PDP Governors Forum affirms Akinkomi as chairman as court grants Uche second the staying order. These and more on News Panorama today. I'm Naja Atutejani. The released pupils of Salihu Islamia School Tegina have left the medical facility which they were taken to on yesterday for checks. Our correspondent Mukhtar Abubakar reports that the pupils are heading to Niger State Government House before they are reunited with their family. The governor is scheduled to meet the children and address the media. NTA will keep you abreast of the development. The released Salihu Islamia School children arrived the Mina at about midnight on Thursday after a 6-hour journey from Birnin axis of Kaduna State, where their release was secured. Mukhtar Abubakar reports that the children, who spent about 3 months in captivity, were abducted on 30th May in the school premises.
Pupils of Salihu Islamia School Tegina were reportedly released alongside their teachers at a location around Birnin axis in Kaduna State on Thursday evening at about 6 p.m. On their arrival in Mina around 12 midnight, the returnees were taken to Boso Low-Cost Primary Healthcare Facility, a few kilometers away from the Niger State Government House for medical attention. All efforts by NTA News crew to have access to the children at the medical facility proved abortive. However, some of the parents of the released puppies who were in the vicinity to have a glimpse of their children speak to NTA News.
From the Benangwari Axis bush, that's where they've been released. We have been able to see them. We cannot say anything now. It was until the result of the doctors that will now understand what is going on. We thank God they are okay.
We thank God for the safe return of our children.
Niger State Governor, who visited the medical facility midnight while speaking off camera, said the details regarding the release of the puppies will be known at a press briefing on Friday at noon. 136 pupils of Salihu Islamia alongside their teachers were abducted on the 30th of May this year during Islamic lessons in Tegina. In Mina, Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Governor Abubakar Sani Bello of Niger State is advocating a robust synergy with other bandit-prone states to adapt workable strategies to end the activities of men of the underworld. The governor gave this indication when he paid a working visit to Maundu, a border community with Zamfara State. Hussein Musa reports.
Maundu, a quiet community in Niger State, is about 80 kilometers from the council's headquarters, Mariga local government area. The community was reportedly dislodged about a year ago following the activities of bandits in the area. This sad reality has compelled the farming households to abandon their ancestral homes and take refuge in some adjoining communities, with attendant consequences on their source of livelihoods, farming and livestock production. Apparently touched by the plight of the community and part of efforts to restore sanity in the area, the state governor Abubakar Sani Bello, in company of key government officials and heads of security agencies, rode on motorcycles covering a distance of more than 20 kilometers to access Maundu from Kasuan Garba, a major weekly village market. The governor, who expressed sadness over the level of havoc wreaked on the village and its infrastructure, commended the efforts of security operatives deployed to the community to restore peace.
Soon, the residents of Maundu will start coming back home to attend to their farms.
In Mina, Hussein Musa, NTA News.
Now, the National Economic Council, NEC, has resolved to facilitate programs to ensure the integration of children who are at risk of becoming vulnerable as a result of some crises in the country. This formed part of discussions at the NEC meeting, which was held virtually. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports.
The National Economic Council meeting deliberated on several issues, including presentation by the Special Advisor to the President on Social Investment Program, Mariam Uwais, on the need to address the vulnerability of the Nigerian children, especially those in the crisis areas, to avoid being overpowered by miscreants. Programs to enhancing the education and skills acquisition are approved.
The memo presented was made to acquaint the Council that the mission is aimed at facilitating programs that will ensure the integration of those children at risk and young adults by creating opportunities for them to have skills and to give them empowerment in order to reduce their degree of vulnerabilities.
With much effort on the progress report on COVID-19, the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, in his briefing said, although Lagos is the epicenter of the virus, millions of doses of the vaccines are underway. For example, he added, about 29 million doses are expected by Johnson & Johnson before the end of September.
Quite a significant amount of new vaccine doses coming in from AstraZeneca, from Moderna, and a huge quantity is expected from the Johnson & Johnson.
The council also discussed on the need for various states to submit their report on the NSAS crisis for further deliberations, as few states have submitted their final reports to government, to include Abia, Ekiti, Enugu, Gombe, Kwara and Rivers, with the interim report by Lagos State government.
Other states are yet to submit their reports, that is 19 of them. The Vice President will urge the states that have not submitted their reports to immediately submit their reports so that before the next meeting of NEC,
the Vice President has directed to have a committee to come out with local solutions on how the activities what this organization will immediately impact also.
The virtual meeting was presided over by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshimbajo. From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
The Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Ali Baba, has received the report of the Special Investigation Panel on the alleged indictment of the former head of Police Intelligence Response Team, DCP Abbakari, by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI. A statement by the force indicates that the report was submitted by DIG Joseph Ibunike, chairman of the Special Investigation Panel, who revealed that the report presented contained the case file of the probe, evidence and findings, as well as testimonies from DCP Abbakari and other persons and groups linked to the matter. Meanwhile, the IGP reiterates commitment to the course of justice and gives assurance of careful and expeditious review of the recommendations to be undertaken by the force management team and thereafter forwarded to appropriate quarters for necessary action. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has inaugurated a 12-man interministerial committee which will ensure successful conduct of activities to mark Nigeria's 61st independence anniversary. Kenneth Nanim reports.
The interministerial committee may be few in number, but the task before them is huge, as the responsibility for planning, organizing and executing all activities approved for a successful conduct of the 61st independence anniversary of the nation is rested on their shoulders. The committee also has, as part of its terms of reference, to co-opt groups or organizations relevant to the success of the anniversary.
Last year, the theme for the 60th anniversary celebration was together. It is also important that we come up with an appropriate theme that will speak not only to the present situation in the country, but most importantly, the positive trajectory that we are all working towards for the greater benefit of the Nigerian people. I'm confident that members of this committee would come up with innovative means of celebrating our 61st anniversary.
The committee also will in September this year implement some of the remaining activities for the 60th independence anniversary, slated to run for 12 calendar months to herald the October 1st celebrations. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, who is also the chairman, Ownership Subcommittee on the Nigeria at 60 project, presented the committee's report on the one-year program. The 12-man interministerial committee is to be chaired by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The management of the State House, Nigeria's seat of government, says it will not hesitate to make an example of anyone who betrays public trust in discharging official responsibilities. The Permanent Secretary Tijani Umar read the Riot Act at the inauguration of the State House Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit by the ICPC. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The inauguration of the Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit has been described by the ICPC as a further testament and commitment by the State House management to being at the forefront of driving the broader anti-corruption initiatives of the federal government.
Act 2 is not a parallel authority to management. It is expected to assist you and management in promoting a transparent workforce.
The Permanent Secretary of the State House, Tijani Umar, said members of the unit were specifically selected based on their integrity and overall efforts in service delivery.
We expect that the Act 2 State House team will not betray our trust and our confidence. Otherwise, we shall be compelled to make example of them in case of any erring behavior.
The Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit, he emphasized, is expected to assist the institution to conform by way of continuous advocacy, reporting, and where necessary, enforcement and sanctions.
On our part, management will lead by example. We are making this commitment today and hold ourselves to high standards of behavior so that ACTU doesn't have to worry itself about looking the side of management.
Members of the unit are drawn from the various departments of the State House, with Gaji Muhammad Usman as chairman. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
This is News Panorama on the network service of the NTA. There'll be more reports after this timeout.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
Thanks for staying tuned. To reduce overdependence on foreign goods, stimulate the growth of local markets and improve the industrialization drive of the federal government, the African Continental Free Trade Area has organized a workshop with key stakeholders in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital. Bilkisu Umar Guruku reports.
The African Continental Free Trade Area is an initiative adopted by African Union which aims at creating a single market and deepening the economic integration of the continent. National Action Committee of the organization was in Nasarawa State to engage stakeholders on how best to improve trade between the state and other states by facilitating investment across to achieve sustainable and inclusive socio-economic development.
There are so many areas of investment that the state can look at. Our mission is to help them to identify priorities, set those priorities properly, and then be able to effectively implement those priorities.
We can pick which suits best for Nasarawa State, whether it's in agriculture, whether it's in mining, whether it's in services, and then export it out to the world.
Participants said the workshop is a viable initiative that will enhance the growth of businesses with the support of the state government.
Our land dedicated purely for commercial industrial agriculture, which provide enough jobs that we need.
Cassava has some substance called cyanide, which can be processed. Now, if you process it well, you can use it in the pharmaceutical industry, you can use it in noodle industry, you can also use it in the brewery or beverage industry.
The workshop has a theme connecting Nigerian businesses to Africa. In Lafia, Bilkisu Umar Gurku, NTA News.
Beneficiaries of the conditional cash transfer will no longer be paid cash at hand, but through the newly established scheme via bank accounts and debit card. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Saidia Umar Farouk, said this at the recommencement of the conditional cash transfer to vulnerable Nigerians, starting with Abaji, Kuje and Kwali area councils of the FCT. Ilyasu Aliyah Kubu reports.
This exercise signaled the migration from the cash-at-hand payment of the conditional cash transfer program to the online system using bank accounts by licensed payment service providers through the use of personal identification number PIN. We are happy for this government effort. It will go a long way in changing our lives. The Humanitarian Affairs Minister said the rebranding of the scheme was done to enhance the effectiveness and national social safety, to transparently deploy an innovative strategy to capture data on all poor and vulnerable households. She said the ministry has also adopted a policy that allows community members to identify the vulnerable amongst them.
With this development, beneficiaries can access or control their accounts using personal identification numbers, perform all transactions like withdrawal, bank transfers, and bill payments, etc.
And you know, the values of being banked is that first, your money is safe. Second, you will be encouraged also to start saving.
About 23,893 beneficiaries have been captured in the 3 area councils of the FCT. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliaku, NTA News.
The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has announced 835 new cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria within the last 24 hours. The breakdown shows that Rivers State has 263 cases, Lagos 217, Oyo 128, Edo 45, Kwara 42, the FCT 37, Ekiti 35, Ogun 13, Akwa Ibom and Imo 11 cases each. Bayelsa has 10 cases, Plateau 7, Delta 4, Kaduna 3, Benue, Niger and Sokoto 2 cases each. Abia, Ebonyi and Nasarawa 1 case each. Nigeria now has 189,715 total confirmed cases of COVID-19, out of which 169,626 patients have been treated and discharged, while the death toll is now 2,298. In October this year, the federal government is to commence payment of the minimum wage arrears owed non-teaching staff of Nigerian universities. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngigi, says this is already captured in the 2021 supplementary budget. Joseph Watson reports.
Under the umbrella of the Joint Action Committee, JAC, the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutes, NASU, and Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, meet with representatives of the federal government to take stock of the signed February 2021 MOA implementation. Payment of consequential minimum wage arrears is among key issues on the table.
The problem was that it was difficult to get the actual number of people, the genuine people that this money is due to. Because from 2020 up, a lot of people have entered the service. So this was the problem.
Time frame with a minimum of 2 weeks were agreed upon for sorting out matters surrounding retirement benefits and hazard allowances.
The issue of payment of responsibility allowance to our heads of units, we have succeeded in getting them to pay others who are affected, like registrars, bursars, and the others. But they omitted heads of units. So we have insisted that these heads of units should be paid.
The visitation panel to federal universities is also to submit its report next week, while issues of renegotiation of FGN, NASU and SANU agreement is to be arranged by parties when they meet. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
The federal government has expressed willingness to support states which are committed to ensuring safety in times of emergencies. The Controller General of the Federal Fire Service, Dr. Liman Alhaji Ibrahim, disclosed this during the unveiling of additional firefighting equipment in Gombe. Emmanuel Akila reports.
Gombe State is steadily moving towards ensuring effective response to fire emergencies. This is with a renewed synergy between the state and federal governments, as the state government provides 2 Hilux vehicles. At the time, the Federal Fire Service is deploying a truck to ensure effective response to fire incidences across the state. These additional equipment are to complement the earlier ultra-modern firefighting equipment deployed by the Federal Fire Service to Gombe State.
We are here today, sir, to present to you the firefighting truck, which we pledged we're going to donate.
Governor Mahmoud Inwa Yahya reassured further commitment in working with the Federal Fire Service.
No amount of money is too much for us to put in a bid to save lives and property of the people. The Gombe State government is ready and willing to synergize with the federal government in order to provide security and in order to provide safety.
The governor also provides a site for the Federal Fire Service to set up a base in Gombe. Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
And now to the PDP crisis. The crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party seems to have taken another twist this Friday, with uncertainty staring an ongoing caucus meeting in the face. The uncertainty follows the Birnin Kebbi High Court order, which reinstated the national chairman of the party to office, while the acting national chairman, Elder Yemi Akinwumi, is attending the meeting. Party chairman is back in the office and not allowed to be part of the meeting for now. PDP governors and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, as well as the National Assembly leadership of the PDP, are attending the meeting. Details in our subsequent bulletin. Now, the Nigerian Television Authority and its military counterpart, the Directorate of Defense Information, are mapping new tactical efforts to ensure fair representation to change the status quo in conflict reportage during live security situations. The report.
Ready for battle, not armed with guns and bombs this time, but with the right information. The Director of Defense Media Information, recognizing the danger of wrong information in conflict-sensitive reports in the media, is on a mission to reset records with the support of the Nigerian Television Authority, well known for its campaign against fake news and hate speech.
The truth must be told. It might not come when required, so that we don't put the troops into any form of jeopardy.
We discussed the need for us to sit down and reassess our coverage of the armed forces, especially in the various theaters of operation. Because television is all about pictures.
Sustaining the tempo of love, peace and patriotism, the management of the Nigerian Television Authority also received the convener of the One Love, One Nigeria, One President project.
Of hate in the system. And that's why we thought about this project, that there is a need to bring up a platform that will make Nigerians understand that we cannot exist without love. And that's the essence of this project.
Speaking on behalf of the Director General, NTA, Madam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, the NTA identifies with the reasons for the existence of your body.
These collaborations and deepening relationship with the media are an indication of love for the country and the need for Nigerians to remain resolute in the face of challenges.
On that note, we conclude the news this Friday on Panorama. Thanks for watching. Do remember to stand with NTA against rape and rapists.